Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions, the show where we talk about television movies of comic book, sci-fi, and fantasy. I am your host, Sean McGahee, and with me today on this wet and rainy Tuesday night is Miss Lisa Locke McGahee. Lisa, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you were already here, so
Yes.
It's kind of convenient, is what it is.
True.
But we're here to talk, we got our hot chocolates. I think we're ready to roll.
I'm ready.
You ready to get into this?
Sure.
Alright guys, so we got a lot to talk about actually today. Foremost is something that happened a week ago with the announcement of all the DC Cinematic Universe stuff. And then there's some other stuff as far as X-Men Apocalypse. There have been a lot of interviews with Bryan Singer and cast members in regards to that film. And given that this show is called Dayspring Discussions, it's related to X-Men, I think we should take at least some time to talk about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to sandwich it, okay? We're going to put X-Men at the end, we'll put DC at the front, and we'll sandwich everything else in the middle, like a nice meaty sub. Sound good?
Sure.
Okay, great. All right, getting right into it. Last Tuesday on the CW, Jeff Johns and Kevin Smith hosted a half-hour special as to what Warner Brothers has in store for their DC characters and their cinematic universe. They started off talking more about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. We got to see a new Suicide Squad trailer. And then we saw our first footage from Wonder Woman, which has been shooting for like a month or two now. So we got to see that as well. And then they finally revealed the lineup in a concept art picture of the Justice League lineup. You got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, as well as Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman. And those other three characters are getting their own films after the Justice League movie. And they talked a little bit more about those characters as well. So a lot of stuff to talk about just in this regard. So I figure we'll go ahead and just break it down piece by piece. We'll go one by one and start from there. Starting off with the feature they did on Batman v Superman. Less than 2 months away. It's coming up quick. It's going to be here before we know it. I'm sure pre-sale tickets are going to be here soon as well. So I cannot wait to buy them. Regardless of, my fears of the film, I think it'll be alright. Lisa, I just made you watch all those featurettes just like 5 minutes ago. The Batman v Superman one. I know you said you're not excited about it.
I'm really not.
Is that do anything for you? Is anything?
No, I mean, I'm we've talked about this before, and I'm not worried about Batman or Superman individually.
Yes.
I really liked Henry Cavill as Superman. I didn't hate Man of Steel, but I didn't love it. I definitely didn't.
I hated it.
Yeah, I know you did. I didn't hate it like you did, but I didn't love it. And I didn't... I like... Even the the Marvel movie that I like least, I still like better than Man of Steel.
Yes, I'll give you that.
So...
Well...
I mean, I haven't seen
Iron Man 3.
I haven't seen Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3 is my least favorite, which I didn't make you watch.
I didn't even watch that one, right. So, anyway, but it's not that... Batman and Superman are not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about, I'm still not on board with this super dark tone.
Yeah.
It seems weird to me.
I'll get into that in a minute.
Just in what my experience with Superman, the tone doesn't fit. And Lex, Lex is weird to me, and every time the more I see of that film, the less I'm excited about it. The little featurettes you had me watch, I think the other ones look much better.
Well, we'll get to that. We're just focusing on Batman v Superman now.
I'm not really very excited about it.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much. Regardless of that, they also put out a couple of commercials during the NFL playoffs as well, which you didn't get a really good chance to watch. I showed you the one with Superman. And then the Batman one, you didn't get a chance to see. Those were good. So what I think is nice now is that I think they're going back and focusing on Batman versus Superman. They had that trailer with...
Yeah, but they can't just take back what we've already seen.
Well, we've already seen it, yeah. But now we're coming down the stretch. They need to get people's excitement going, is what it is.
Right,
so,
but I'm saying it's too late, I think. It's like they already revealed their hand.
So
and now they're trying to back it up and be like, oh, wait, forget that we showed you the shit that you weren't excited about and that made you question the movie. Oh, but just look at Batman and Superman. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to...
It's kind of like when you pick out your own Christmas present and then your parents expect you to be surprised when they give it to you.
Exactly. We've already seen the end game in the trailer. So... now they're going to try to go back and get us all excited about the Batman versus Superman. We already know that they team up. We saw it.
Well, we already knew that.
Well, yeah, but we already saw it.
We didn't know what they were teaming up against.
And we've
guess.
already seen that too.
Yeah.
So.
Exactly. So, all right. So moving on, the next thing they showed us was Suicide Squad. They didn't show the actual trailer till the end of the program, but they talked more about the film. That one comes out in August. I want to tell you what, I got some feelings about this trailer. I'm gonna see what you think. You saw it last night. What did you think of it?
I'm not really sure what I think about it. Like, I mean, I don't know anything really about Suicide Squad. I mean, I know who Joker is and I know who Harley Quinn is, but I don't really know anything about any of the other characters.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer was interesting. Like, thematically, it was neat. Like, it had the whole like the Bohemian Rhapsody, and I thought it was interesting. It looked. I had a hard time understanding from the trailer what the movie's gonna be. I mean, I can know it's supposed to be like a bunch of bad guys who they use as good guys.
Yeah, the government uses them on a dangerous mission. It's a suicide mission, hence Suicide Squad.
Right.
That they don't expect them to come back from, but if they do complete their mission and come back from, then they'll be, pardoned of all their crimes. Or whatever.
Which is insane. The concept of that anyway.
Considering they're all
freaking
insane.
lunatics.
Yeah, they are lunatics.
But I don't know. I mean, I think it looks like it'll be interesting. It looks very violent.
Yes. Which sticks with what DC wants, I guess.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, I think it looks interesting. I mean, I'll see it.
I think again, just from what we saw, it's weird. I mean, they're going to try to pull off that PG-13 rating with that film too.
Yeah, because that trailer definitely did not look. I mean, it looked violent.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can get away with in PG-13. The clips I saw from the film, I liked. I'm kind of more excited for this movie after this trailer, seeing more of it. But I didn't like the trailer itself.
It seemed to jump around too much. It didn't have a very good flow.
It seemed like they were. And this is kind of where it begins. Really, is this project got greenlit after Guardians of the Galaxy was a success. And in this trailer, you have the old song playing over in the background. Granted, it's a different song, but it's still that. And then they had the phrase worst heroes ever. I feel like it was trying to mimic Guardians of the Galaxy way too much. Because, again, this film got greenlit after they saw that a film with a bunch of, criminals could work, I guess you could say. So, and they're trying to play off of that a little bit with the older song and the criminals doing good things. So, to me, that trying to relate it to Guardians of the Galaxy doesn't work for me that much. But the clips that I saw, I liked. So, in that regard, I'm excited for it. Are you more excited or eager to see that or Batman v Superman?
I'm not really excited to see either. I mean, I'll see them both.
There's no pleasing you, is there?
I know.
It's just like at home.
Neither one of them is something where I see the trailer and I'm like, that looks awesome. I cannot wait to see it. Like, I don't get that about either of them. But, I mean, I will, and we'll see. Maybe once I see Batman v Superman, maybe if it's awesome and I love it, and then I'll have a whole different respect for this whole DC plan. Right now, I'm not on board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the whole plan of their whole special was to try to get people on board because they literally laid out their entire plan right there. Mm-hmm. Kind of similar how Marvel did last year or the year before. They hold that big press event. They laid out their next 5 years of movies. Mm-hmm. Kind of that's what DC did, except for they did it on the CW instead. So then the next film that comes out after Suicide Squad next year is going to be Wonder Woman, which has been shooting for a month or two now. And we actually got to see clips from it. So, of course, the clips I thought looked pretty cool. I mean, it was cool to see Wonder Woman live, A couple things just looking at the clips and the parts they showed us. First off, she's riding a horse. Normally Wonder Woman flies, so I don't know if they're going to take that away from her because some people I know in the past have had issue with her flying because Superman is known for his flying, so some people think that nobody else really should fly that much except Superman because it helps set him apart from everyone else. Whatever, I don't care. Fly.
Because we're not going to be sure if it's him or her.
I know, right? Fly, don't fly. I don't care about that. I really get the sense that this is going to be a Captain America First Avenger kind of feel where it's all going to take place mainly in the past because we're already going to see her in Batman v Superman before we see her in Wonder Woman. So I feel like she's like going to go back and like maybe tell Batman and Superman her origin story or whatever.
He said, Jeff Johns said on that interview with Kevin Smith when they were doing that thing that this is her origin story.
Yeah, of course. We know it's her origin story. I'm saying, like, is she telling it or are they just playing it off? You know, is it going to start with them in the Bat Cave and Wonder Woman's like, okay, guys, this is where I come from. You know, kind of like that. Could be. But I have a feeling it's going to be that first Avenger kind of feel to it. It does have that darker tone to it. The lighting of it, it's got darkness, and I don't like it.
I didn't mind that in this one particularly because it does take place in the past, and it looked like from the outfits and stuff that it was probably like the 20s, 30s, 40s.
It was World War One, is what I heard.
Okay, so whatever that time in movies that take place during that time period are always lit in that darker tone. So it didn't bother me as much in that.
But it matches the other two, Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, which bothers me because, you know, the Marvel movies each feel very different. So again, to pull these off, I think DC is going to have to get that different tone with each of them. And right now, I'm just not getting the sense that they'll be that different.
No, I think
not even with Suicide Squad, even.
Oh no, I had the same tone. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in that regards, and then lastly, yeah, they had some awesome clips, but guess what? We still haven't heard Gal Gadot talk, whether it be this or Batman v Superman.
Well, I mean, she spoke in it as herself.
When?
The actress.
Oh, the actress. No, I'm talking about in character.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, that's the bit about it that I'm not sure about her.
I mean, you could put a lot of actresses in a Wonder Woman costume in slow motion, you know, action scenes and make them look cool, but can they act? That's been the whole thing about Gal Gadot the whole time is I don't feel... I've yet to be proven, I mean, that she can pull off the role. And so far, I'm not impressed. They've surrounded her with some nice... you know, co-stars with Chris Pine and Robin Wright and all that, but it's going to come down to if she's going to be the center, if she can pull it off. And while the clips got me excited, I'm not convinced yet with her.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so moving on, of course, after Wonder Woman, you have the Justice League movie coming out. And of course, like I said, they showed us the lineup: Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman. Now, of the individual ones coming out as far as Flash, Aquaman, or Cyborg, which one looks more interesting to you?
I just like the character of Flash. I mean, I think that Ezra Miller looks like, I mean, just even when they were interviewing him in the little clip, like, he seems like Flash.
Did you see the controversy about that?
No, what?
I think I posted on Facebook where there's some stupid idiots out there thinking that Grant Gustin should play Flash in the movie. So
they talked about this like a million times.
They got some stupid petition, I think, or whatever, yeah. But then Grant Gustin came out and he's like, guys, I don't like talking about this because I think it's childish. But guess what? Ezra's going to be Flash in the movies, on Flash on TV. Ezra has my full support. I think he's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That coming from Grant Gustin.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I like Grant Gustin a lot. I mean, I would not have complained at all if he had been.
Oh, no,
Flash.
yeah.
It just, I feel like the Ezra Miller in the Flash bit, like the little, just when they were talking to him, it kind of reminded me of Smallville Flash. You know, like just that, like.
A little troublesome.
Yeah, like a little trouble kid, like, you know. Or,
could be.
Know. But I mean, I don't really know the actor who's playing Cyborg. Have I ever seen
him?
No,
he's pretty much an unknown. Mm-hmm. He's been doing Broadway or like, you know, stage acting actually most of his life. Yeah. So his acting ability seems pretty solid, but he hasn't been in that many movies.
Yeah, and I think Jason Momoa is Aquaman. Like, he looks like he could be Aquaman. He's not blonde, but like he has the build. I think it'll be fine. Acting wise, I don't know about that one, but the look I think is funny. He's not blonde, but whatever.
Okay, I'll say about Aquaman. So Flash, of course, Ezra Miller's a great actor. I don't like that there are several other Flashes they could use. Why do they have to use Barry Allen? There's Wally West, there's Jay Garrick, there's Bart Allen. Why do they have to use... I mean, yes, Barry Allen is the most famous of the Flashes, and maybe they are trying to bounce off the success of the TV show by making the movie Flash Barry Allen. But I think any of the Flashes would work, especially Wally West. When I thought about a Justice League film, I wouldn't want Barry Allen in there. I'd want Wally West in there because in his younger Flash days, he was more comical, kind of like, you know, Ryan Reynolds is almost like that, which, of course, a lot of people wanted Ryan Reynolds to play the Flash, and he ended up playing Green Lantern. So I'd rather see a different character get. We know Barry Allen, okay? People who are going to see this movie, they might not watch the Flash TV show, but most of us do, I guess, who are excited about the film. Show us another Flash, is what I'm saying in that regard. But again, Ezra Miller, great actor. I have faith in him. Cyborg, Jeff Johns has always had a soft spot for Cyborg. So he put him, when the new Justice League formed in the New 52, he put Cyborg in there. Cyborg has always been part of the Teen Titans. So to put him in there seemed a little odd. I think for this day and age, I think he works though, because again, he's half machine. He's got all this technology to him. So in this technological age, I guess it makes sense. He's never been a character that's really struck me or stood out for me, but they definitely deepened his origin story when they brought him into the Justice League, as far as, you know, his father issues and all this. So in that regards, I can see that working. As a solo film, I don't know, because he never actually held down his own solo comic, let alone film. And then there's Aquaman.
All right, let's hear it.
One that's close to my heart, of course. Now, Jason Momoa, again, I've seen him in Game of Thrones. He's okay. Anything else I've seen him in, he's not really that great. So that's kind of my worry about that film. Plus, now they have the director, what's his name? James Wan? Is it James Wan? The guy who directed the last Fast and Furious movie, pretty much. He's going to be directing Aquaman. Aquaman should not have Fast and Furious director. He should have Thor director, Kenneth Branagh, okay? Because it's very similar, okay? It's two brothers fighting over the throne, except up in, space, in Asgard, it's underwater in Atlantis. It's got that Shakespearean Greek mythology to it. So, to why they should get some guy who only knows how to flip cars and shoot stunts.
How do you know he only knows how to do that?
Because I haven't seen his other movies, and guess what? That's all he's done. They don't to give the character depth he needs. We need someone who can really do this. And right now, they're not going to get that character depth from the script, I don't feel, because I've seen what else DC has in store. And guess what? Man of Steel, not a lot of depth there. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with that. So, overall, the DC Cinematic Universe. After seeing these featurettes, are you more excited, less excited? What's coming up?
Meh.
I mean, compared to, like, say when you saw Marvel's plan.
Marvel's plan, I'm always more excited about.
Because
their stuff just looks better.
Films.
Yeah, they have a proven track record. Everything that I've seen of every Marvel movie I've seen, I've liked, and some I've loved. So for right now, they've done everything right.
Yeah.
They make movies that are family friendly, that are entertaining, that have decent storylines. I mean, some of them, they're not perfect.
They're not perfect, of course not. They're very, again,
but they're movies that I would want to go back and watch again and again.
They're entertaining.
They're very entertaining.
Entertaining, yes.
Yeah, and they're movies that I feel like, families could watch and enjoy, and kids and adults.
Yeah, there's something everyone can pick up on.
Right, like, Man of Steel was
dark, depressing.
I mean, I'm not sure that, I know that DC is trying to make itself different from Marvel, and I get that, but this dark, depressing, I don't know.
Fun.
It just doesn't seem like the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you got to give him some credit though, because last week, Josh and I, we were trying to give him some credit, of course, saying, okay, they've only got one film, Marvel's got like 12 or 13, let's wait and see, like, a couple more films after Batman v Superman, see what's going on. We try to be hopeful about it. Mm-hmm. But then you just got me thinking, okay, let's look at Warner Brothers' first film, Man of Steel, versus Marvel Studios' first film, Iron Man.
No competition.
Iron Man
was awesome.
Way above that. So when I look at it like that, I'm just like, that just gets me more depressed, actually. So done with this depression. Let's go and move on and get to the meat of the sandwich, okay? So Disney has announced that Star Wars Episode 8 has been moved from its release date of May 26, 2017 to December 15th, 2017. This comes from a press announcement saying that it cites the extraordinary success of The Force Awakens was the reason for the shift, and it's hard to squabble at this point with Star Wars in December and the formula and how much success they feel like it's going to have in its new slot.
it's a no-brainer.
Exactly.
I mean, in December there's no competition.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing too. We're getting these summer movies now, because all the Star Wars movies, they've all taken place in summer except for The Force Awakens. And Force Awakens was supposed to be out this past summer, but J.J. Abrams went and said, "Hey, can I have another year?" And Bob Iger said, "No, you can't have another year. I'll give you 6 months, but you can't have another year." So in that regards, that was probably the smartest thing they ever did.
Yeah.
Because again, there is, like I said, there is no competition.
Yeah, I mean, the competition was what? The Chipmunk Adventure, what was it? The Chipmunk 3?
Road Trip.
Whatever.
Road Trip.
Crap. They had, like, no good competition until just recently. What, like last week was the first time they had any real competition?
Yeah, I just got knocked out last week by Ride Along, I think it was.
Yeah.
Ride Along 2.
Yeah, and, I mean, really, December, totally, I mean, it sucks because now we're going to have to wait, like, 2 years.
No, really. Well, but at the good time, it gives them 6 more months to get it right.
Yeah.
I mean, look how that worked for J.J. Abrams.
I'm just saying.
I agree with that.
2 years now we have to wait.
Whatever. We had a year and a half. It's 6 more months. It's not like we have to wait a full another year. It's just 6 more months. And like I said, now Star Wars owns that December time slot. So you're going to have either people trying to, try to go against it because they're thinking, well, my movie was supposed to come out in summer, but it's too crowded, so let's try to move it someplace else. Hey, how about Christmas? And they'll say, well, there's just Star Wars, so we can get some of that, residual, what do I want to say, aftershock. Leftovers, exactly. Or they'll be like, oh God, Star Wars. No, don't go anywhere near it. Don't go near that. Let's not do it. Just let Star Wars let Star Wars rule it for like 2 months. So it's one of the two things going. But you can obviously, with the fact that it broke all these records, it's smart to have Star Wars in that time spot. And now, like I said, Rogue One comes out this December. We get Episode 8 coming out next December. December has just become the new Star Wars month, which I am totally fine with. Mm-hmm. It's a little Christmas treat.
It's fine for me. It means we get to go every year for my birthday.
Well, it comes out December 15th. It's after your birthday.
Barely.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, but it's nice too, because now what I'm thinking is about by the time Episode 8 comes out, granted, I don't know, it's a Rian Johnson film, so it might be a little darker tone, but 2 years from now, let's start doing Christmas tradition, family going to see Star Wars every Christmas.
No, we don't go to movies on Christmas.
Excuse me.
No, not Christmas Day, we don't.
Christmas night, Christmas Eve, whatever.
No.
Whoa.
No, we don't go.
Hey.
We will discuss this later.
We can have a little squabble right now.
No, we can discuss
the audience
this later.
will enjoy this.
We can discuss this later.
I'm just saying.
No, my family does not do movies
my family always went to movies on Christmas.
Well, my family does not do that.
Well, let's kind
we
of
do
find
family
a common
time on Christmas.
Well, exactly. Family time is going to the movies together, all seeing the same movie.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we all talk about the movie.
No, we can talk about the movie the week before Christmas because it'll be out then.
But then I'm talking like second and third viewings.
Yeah, well, that can be after Christmas. We don't do Christmas in the movies.
Fine, I'm sneaking Nora out of the house.
No, you're not.
Oh, yes, we are.
We'll talk about
We're
this
going to
later.
wait till you go to bed, and then I'm going to say, Nora, you want to go see Star Wars? And she'll be like, yeah.
Let's talk about
She'll
this
be like,
later.
Darth Vader.
We will discuss this later.
Okay, fine. We'll table it for now, because we're on it. So, but because of this, too, there's also been some shifts in other movies. So the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie took over their time spot, and now that's moved up from July 7th to May 26th.
I can't even believe they're making another Pirates movie.
Okay.
Really?
So then the new Spider-Man movie has been moved up from July 28th to July 7th, taking that spot. And then now also the next remake of Jumanji has been moved up from December 25th to July, I believe. So yeah, basically they all moved up and took each other's dates.
I don't understand why they're remaking Jumanji. Like, Jumanji still holds up. That movie's great.
It does.
Like, you could take that movie right now, put it in theaters for a whole new generation, and it would be awesome. That movie's phenomenal. I don't understand.
That's the thing, too, because everyone loves it, okay? Because everyone still loves it. They'll be like, oh, well, everyone still loves this one, but let's give them a modern version. Because everyone who loves that movie is going to go see the new one, too.
I'm not. I don't want to see one without Robin Williams.
That's going to be one of those things.
Robin Williams and Bonnie Hunt, you can't I don't understand. I don't understand this decision.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, so then all those movies have moved up because of Star Wars going back to December on that. So that's, kind of the way the ripple is. So for me, that kind of gives a sense that I think everyone's going to stay away from Star Wars, really.
Yeah.
But either way, it'll be a nice Christmas treat when we go see it on Christmas Day.
We're not going on Christmas Day.
Moving on. The sequel to Terminator Genesis, or Genesis, as John Schnepp likes to refer to, has been removed from Paramount's schedule. According to Deadline, the film was originally slated to come out on May 19th, 2017, and has now been replaced by the Baywatch movie.
This story makes me laugh so much.
Replaced by the Baywatch movie.
How horrible is that your movie was such crap that they think Baywatch is going to do better?
Okay, all right. So the film actually cost about $150 million to make. It grossed $90 million in North America. However, it did pretty well over internationally and made $440 million worldwide as well. So it, after marketing and all that other stuff, it probably made a somewhat profit. Not a lot, but somewhat of a profit. So, but anyway, so then this also kind of says that the Terminator franchise, as far as like not only a whole trilogy planned out, but also a TV show planned as well, have pretty much been put on hold indefinitely. Though one of the film's producers has later said that things are still moving forward, just at a much slower pace.
I don't believe it. I mean, I didn't see Terminator Genisys.
You went and saw Salvation with me, right?
Yeah, and it was not very good.
Yeah.
I only saw it because it had
Christian Bale doing him. And that's the thing. Christian Bale did the same voice he did when he did Dark Knight, which was just... you and me, we've been ever since before I was born. That kind of voice. So, but okay, so I'm going to throw some truth right here, okay? I'm going to lay it down, all right? The Terminator franchise, okay? The first Terminator film was a B-rated 80s sci-fi movie that, when you go back, not that bad, but it still doesn't hold up. Terminator 2 was a phenomenal film, great watchable, that's what it is. And that's really what this whole franchise is still hanging on by a thread from that film, from that success. Because Terminator 3, not that great. Terminator Salvation, horrible. The TV show, The Sarah Connor Chronicles, I heard it was pretty good. I never actually checked it out. No, I take it back. I watched the first episode and then I quit. So, but people seem to like it. And then, of course, now you have Terminator Genisys, which wasn't, I think, horrible, but it was nowhere near the quality that it should have been to reinvigorate the franchise. So this whole franchise, I think, is a what do I say, charade, so to speak, because the only really true good one you have in that whole bunch is Terminator 2. And that's kind of what it comes down to, is I think the franchise has a good idea. I think it's a great mythology. But when they lost James Cameron, that was the problem right there. Because James Cameron hasn't been with this franchise since Terminator 2. And since then, it's floundered.
Floundered?
Floundered?
Floundered.
Fauna? What?
Floundered.
Fairy weather? Fairy what? No? Anyway, so yeah. But I heard James Cameron gets the rights back in a couple years, so maybe that'll change.
He's kind of busy.
Well, he is. He's doing his Avatar movies that no one will probably see, but...
I'll go see him. I liked Avatar.
He's waited way too long to put those movies out.
I know, but people will still go see it.
Because now reports are at first that... Because when Star Wars moved over to their December 2017, that's when the next Avatar is supposed to come out.
Yeah, they moved Avatar.
But then they also moved Avatar. So they moved Avatar even further back.
Yeah, I know.
Not good.
No, wait. They haven't. I thought they hadn't actually said where they were moving it to. They just said they were moving it.
Yeah, they're going to move it back.
I thought they haven't officially said, though, if they're moving it back or forward. They might move it up a little.
I doubt it.
I'm just saying. I think I'm excited for it.
When did the first Avatar come out? That came out in...
A long time ago. It was in Chicago.
We were living in Chicago. It's got to be at least 2009.
Oh, it was after that. I think we
2010?
We were already married. Yeah, I think we were.
I don't know. We were living in Chicago, so it had to be at least 2010.
Yeah, anyway.
It's been way too long.
Yeah.
You're going to have 7-8 years before the next one comes out. It's way too long.
I know. I agree.
He just needs to say, okay, let me finish this up real quick and get back to Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
But
sure.
Okay. Anyway, so moving on then from Terminator. We're going to talk about some Deadpool, which a movie you're kind of excited about.
I am excited about Deadpool. I think this marketing campaign, I want to see
the marketing team has been stellar.
Yeah.
So this R-rated superhero film has been highly anticipated by a lot of fans. And again, the marketing campaign has been great, getting other people excited about it. However, the Hollywood Reporter states that Deadpool has been denied distribution in China because of depictions of violence, nudity, and graphic language. Sources say that some of the objectionable material that China does not like could be taken out of the film without creating problems. In not doing so, if not showing in China, You're taking about 20,000 movie screens away from this film, away from its profits. And the international market is pretty big now for films and their success. Now, as far as history goes, Avengers Age of Ultron, the international box office helped them, grossing $240 million, actually. And then with The Dark Knight, however, they actually said they didn't release that in China because of cultural sensitivities in some of the elements of the film.
So basically, China's a bunch of prudes.
Pretty much. Well, they're communists, so that's just how it is. So Deadpool might not be shown to the Chinese. I don't know how they're going to cope with that. It's questionable. I'm curious if they're actually going to try to alter the film any to put it out, because there was, of course, that petition going around of people who wanted to make Deadpool PG-13.
I don't think they'll do it.
No, I don't think you don't think they'll do PG-13, or they won't change it for China.
Either. I don't think they'll do either.
I don't think they should either. No, I don't believe they should either. Because Josh and I were talking last week about this, about Deadpool. It's like, not every comic book film is for kids.
No.
I mean, most mainstream comic books aren't for kids. They even say on the front cover that ages like teenager on up is what it is. So like, Watchmen. I wouldn't tell a kid, hey, it's a superhero movie, you should watch Watchmen. No, you shouldn't. There are some movies like the Marvel movies that families can go see, and some movies that aren't for kids. And that's just how it is. So I'm just curious how it'll hurt their box office.
I don't know.
We'll wait and see.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I think Deadpool, their marketing, I think it's going to do well. I did think interesting is they were saying on Movie Talk, I don't know.
Collider Movie Talk?
Right, Collider Movie Talk. One of the days I listened to it this week. They're talking about how now there's been 2 movies that are coming out with Deadpool, like that one with something about being single, how to be single.
Oh.
Is coming out now, the same weekend as Deadpool. Yeah. And some other rom-com.
I think, I don't know which one.
I don't remember what
whatever,
it is.
Anyway.
But they were, I was wondering if that, like, because they were saying that they don't think it'll affect Deadpool because it's going to be 2 different groups.
Yeah,
but I don't necessarily think that's the case, because I think if they didn't have those, I think those could draw some couples away from Deadpool, because I think some of the girlfriends are going to be like, oh no, let's go see this funny movie in the next theater, where, you know what I mean? Like, and then the dudes will have to go see Deadpool another time.
Those men have no balls and deserve their punishment for going to see those stupid rom-coms.
I'm just saying, I was thinking, originally I was like, that would be an awesome, Valentine's weekend, like Deadpool coming out the weekend is awesome.
It's very romantic. It's a love story.
It is, right? Have you seen the poster?
Yes, I've seen the poster, of course.
I mean, I think that's, I don't know. I'm wondering if I think it might hurt it a little.
Could be. Well, we'll wait and see. I'm excited for it. You're excited for it.
Yeah, I don't want to go see the
We're going to go see Deadpool.
rom-coms, no.
We're going to go see Deadpool, definitely. Yes. So, all right. So the last thing before we get to X-Men Apocalypse, we try to be very geek-friendly here on this show. I try to cover as many topics as I can. I have Josh for the Walking Dead stuff. I have you here for the Hunger Games, Harry Potter, and Doctor Who stuff. But, you're not always here, so sometimes I feel like we miss out on this. So I'm lucky we got this chance while you're here. This originally wasn't in my show notes because Josh was supposed to be here and you weren't. But when I realized you were going to be here.
When you realized Josh was unavailable and you were stuck with me.
Exactly. I was stuck with you, okay? I'm not going to say I'm stuck with you, all right? That would lead down a very, very bad conversation. If I say I'm stuck with you for this, then you're going to make up something about how I'm stuck with you forever, and we're not going to have that conversation because that's not the case, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I chose you, okay? You're the lucky lottery winner, okay? Not only in life, but in this show as well.
Ah.
Gotcha?
Yeah, I gotcha.
You should feel so lucky.
I do. Every day.
Yeah, right. I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
Anyway.
Hey, moving on. Okay, so we got some Doctor Who news. Because apparently, lead writer and executive producer of Doctor Who, Stephen Moffat, is leaving after being on the show for 6th season. Moffat's final season of Doctor Who will play on BBC and BBC America in spring 2017. Moffat will then hand over helming the Doctor's adventures to Broadchurch writer and producer Chris Chibnall. I think that's how you say his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chibnall. Hey, I got that right. Chibnall, however, has plenty of experience with Doctor Who, as he was the co-producer and writer of the spin-off series Torchwood. He's also written several episodes of Doctor Who, including a fan favorite titled Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. I must have missed that one.
It's a good one, actually.
Okay, of course. Quote, Chibnall says, I've loved Doctor Who since I was 4 years old, and I'm relishing the thought of working with the exceptional team at BBC to create new characters, creatures, and worlds for the Doctor to explore. Sadly, though, because Moffat is leaving Doctor Who, this does not mean his other show, Sherlock, will get another season anytime soon.
But that's not just because of Moffat.
Well, it's true, but yeah, well...
Cumberbatch is crazy busy.
Let's get to that. So, PBS head Paula Kerger told Zap It that we do have plans to do the next Sherlock in the coming year, but we won't see it till about 2017. Quote, as you know, Benedict has gotten to be somewhat popular since we began our work with him, and he very much wants to continue with Sherlock. They are produced almost like films, and we're hoping the next one will be about a year from now. So, in that regards, we have Moffat leaving Doctor Who, but that also means, two. I guess there's two, because it means we're not getting a lot of Sherlock anytime soon, and we're also getting someone new for Doctor Who. On the Doctor Who aspect, because I don't watch it and you do, you go.
Well, I mean, Moffat he's amazing. I mean, Doctor Who is, I mean, you really need to have my mom on here for this segment, because she
I'm afraid
would go
she'll talk way too much.
on an insane tangent about how much she adores Moffat. She basically worships everything that he does. I think it's gonna be interesting. I mean, a lot of other people, step in, like, they were saying Chibnall's done some episodes, and it's not like Moffat does everything, but he's got, overall, he's kind of the overall big picture. So, I think it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I mean, already Doctor Who's undergoing another little changeover with, Clara's leaving, and then I just saw something that said, what's his face? I'm drawing a total blank. The Doctor currently. I can't remember. I'm having a total brain fart. Capaldi, that he's leaving.
I don't even watch the show, and I know that. That's how much your mom talks about it.
I know, she does a lot. But yeah, I mean, so if Capaldi and Clara are leaving anyway, in addition to this, so it's going to be a new Doctor, a new companion, so we have a new creative mind behind. Maybe it's just kind of, I don't know, we'll see how it...
Do you think you're going to get a female Doctor anytime soon, or...
I don't know. I don't
think so. There's been a lot of speculation getting, a female Doctor or a Doctor of, another race or something like that in there, of course. But people have been saying the same thing about James Bond and all that.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, I don't care if they do or don't. It's not like the show is short on women or minorities. It's just the Doctor happens to always be a white male.
Every reincarnation, every time he changes, he's still a white male.
Mm-hmm. Just different ages and stuff, but...
All right, I guess. I'll buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting. I'm excited for more Sherlock. I get that it takes a long time. I mean, any show that comes out of the
and not just Benedict Cumberbatch, but Martin Freeman. They both are
busy.
Extremely busy guys.
And it's like she said, every episode of Sherlock is like a film. Yeah. And that's not just Sherlock. I mean, shows that come out of the UK are like that. It's like the Midsummer Murders that I like to watch. Each season is like 4 or 5 episodes, because each episode's an hour and a half.
We're just used to here in America having like 22 episodes a season or whatever.
Yeah, and they're like 20 minutes long.
Which I'm really getting sick of, because now that I'm watching more cable channel shows that are like 13 episodes, 22 just seems like too much for me.
Yeah, but British shows, they're always like that. They're like little mini movies each episode. So like I understand that we don't get it as frequently, but it is.
The quality is good.
It is sad that Sherlock takes such a long time to get the new ones, just because Sherlock is such an awesome show.
It is indeed.
And it is Sherlock is what it is, not just because of Cumberbatch and, Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman, is that his name? Right?
Martin Freeman, yes.
Freeman. Right. They're both
Call
awesome.
him Bilbo.
Right. They're both awesome, but Moffat, he makes that show what it is too. So I don't know. We'll see what happens to Doctor Who without him.
Cool. All right, so last piece of bread on this sandwich of a show, X-Men Apocalypse. So last week there was a big old... I saw this everywhere as far as like interviews from Bryan Singer and cast members, and I felt like the floodgates on X-Men Apocalypse opened last week, because I was reading on every site just interviews from everybody about it. So there's a lot of stuff they talked about. Now, one of the things, we'll go through a couple aspects, but one of the things, of course, they talked about, Bryan Singer spoke with Collider, in regards to kind of the clean slate for the X-Men films now. Talking about how the future that Wolverine saw at the end of Days of Future Past, yeah, everyone's still alive, but saying how the way time works, that might not still be actually the way it goes. Said, quote, "I'll kill any of those characters any day I want. They're fair game. Anything can happen. When two things are happening simultaneously in quantum physics, it's what's called the superposition, and when the observer finally observes the outcome, that's called the collapsing of the superposition," which is what happened when Wolverine woke up and saw all the happiness. So yes, that is the outcome we hope for, that is the outcome we aspire to, and that's the outcome we are moving towards. But we saw in Days of Future Past another dark world. What's to say that can't happen again? What's to say the awakening of the being that has such power, which I'm sure he's referring to Apocalypse, can acquire the power to destabilize that? So anything is possible. So if you haven't watched Days of Future Past, why you're listening to us, I don't know, because
it's awesome.
You're obviously the wrong kind of audience. Okay, it was at the end. Wolverine had created a new future, or saw the new future where all these friends of his who were dead are now alive, and et cetera, et cetera. And so pretty much what happened was Bryan Singer erased almost the entire filmography of X-Men, all the films leading up to that. At this point now we have, here's what is true in the X-Men timeline. We have X-Men First Class, the events of X-Men Days of Future Past, and then that very end of Days of Future Past. We don't know the middle part of it, is what it is. So everything else is erased. And I guess what Bryan Singer is trying to say at this point is, just because we saw everyone alive at the end of Days of Future Past doesn't mean they're going to stay alive, because that's still a possibility of being ruined, I guess is what I'm interpreting this as.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't really make any sense, though, because, I don't know. I don't know what he has planned, but for that, I would think that for those events to have been changed, there would have to be time travel again, but it would have to be someone time traveling from after that point back before that point.
I feel like it has something to do with like alternate timelines. Like just because he woke up into this doesn't mean something else isn't going to happen that's going to make that future not possible. I mean, we're dealing with time travel here. It's very confusing. It's very wishy-washy. There was an interview, I know, Bryan Singer, where after he was done help writing the script for Days of Future Past, he actually let James Cameron take a look at it. And Cameron gave him some notes as far as time travel and whatnot, because, of course, Cameron's experience with Terminator as well. Probably one of the most famous futuristic time traveling films. So he gave him some notes about that and whatnot. So I guess, what I'm taking away from this is just because we saw a happy ending of Days of Future Past doesn't mean we're going to get a happy ending when it's all said and done, is what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
So
that's what he made it sound like.
It makes it more interesting, because now I love it. I love that it is that clean slate, because now we knew that this middle part of the story where everyone gets together forms the X-Men, that's unknown as well. But we didn't know. We thought everything was going to turn out happy. Singer's saying that might not be a possibility, which I'm glad. If anything, it erases X-Men 3 and that horrible Wolverine Origins film. Whatever, I'll take it. I will take it for that instance. So more Bryan Singer was talking about was in regards to X-Men Apocalypse. He talked with Slash Film about the possible romance of X-Men Apocalypse, saying there are pretty much 3 relationships going on in X-Men Apocalypse. So one of the romances is the one we saw start in First Class, which was Beast and Mystique, was that one. And there was actually a deleted scene in Days of Future Past, which is on the road cut of the two of them kind of, exploring that more, or getting to see their relationship. The other one is Charles and Moira McTaggart. Now, Moira wasn't in Days of Future Past. Last time we saw her, she'd actually got her mind wiped by Charles, actually. So she's kind of a basket case. I don't know. We'll see. We'll wait and see what state Charles left her in that regard. And then, of course, there's Jean and Scott, the famous couple of the X-Men. In this film, they get brought on as teenagers. They meet. It's probably a little bit of a puppy love thing going on there as well. Because when we meet Jean and Scott in the first X-Men film, they're already married as well. And then, Wolverine comes in and tries to be the homewrecker, is what it is. So, the three relationships, which ones are you looking forward to exploring more?
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of interested to see Scott and Jean as, where they kind of begin. But I like the whole Beast Raven bit that they did in First Class. I mean, I don't read the comics. I've heard, stop making those noises. I mean, I've heard all the storylines from you because, car trips, you like to babble about X-Men.
It makes stuff go by quicker.
I like what they did with Raven and Beast in the film. And I'm curious to see that play out a little bit more. I don't really care about the Xavier.
I'm curious, too, because Nicholas Hoult and Jennifer Lawrence, after First Class, they started dating in real life. And then they broke up as well. So now they're going to continue that. It's one of those things where, couples in movies who, get together and then they break up in real life and then they still have to be a couple and all that stuff is pretty messed up, I think.
They're actors. They can handle it.
I hope so. They can keep their emotions in check, maybe?
I'm pretty sure J-Lo can handle it.
J-Lo. Okay, well, in that respect. And then, of course, there's Xavier and McTaggart. In the comics, at one point, Xavier was going to marry Moira before he started his X-Men, so he was very much in love with her. I'm curious if you'll get that kind of affection out of this film, or is he going to be more focused on, stopping Apocalypse and all that?
I would hope that stopping Apocalypse would be his priority.
Hey, you don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Whatever. You know what? Superman 2, okay? Superman just dropped everything and let Zod take over the world because guess what? He had to get some. That's how it works, okay? Even superheroes need love too, okay?
I see how men think.
Well, we spend our days, doing everything for everyone else, okay? We still need a little bit for us, all right?
Okay.
Anyway, okay. So this last part, of course, Bryan Singer, of course, again, went to talk more about X-Men Apocalypse, but also, again, talking about how the films that he previously done, X-Men 1 and X-Men 2, are now erased as well. And they were talking about how in X2, Singer had laid the groundwork for the Dark Phoenix saga with Jean Grey, and how we saw that come to fruition in X3. However, it was done very, 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 very,
we
very,
get it.
Very horribly. Okay, so then he was asked about whether or not he would go back and explore that now that he's taking over the franchise and kind of restarting the character again. He went to say, the full Phoenix story, I have no idea. I would have to explore that. If it's already been explored, to re-explore and retell it. Plus, the Phoenix story in the comic books was the Shi'ar Empire and the Moon. In Apocalypse, Jean Grey is still trying to figure out her psychic powers, which are much more powerful than she realizes. So I, for one, would love to see an actual Dark Phoenix saga, one of the caliber, because Dark Phoenix is the most famous X-Men storyline, and it deserves justice in the cinematic universe. I'm not saying they have to go all space.
They already did it in the animated show.
Exactly, and you know how well they did that? Mm-hmm. If they just transition that over to film and live action, it would be killer. Because here's another thing too, is what I've been saying, is they're shooting themselves in the foot by not going cosmic. That can be their gateway to the cosmic. Just like Guardians of the Galaxy helped jumpstart the Marvel Universe into that cosmic realm, the Dark Phoenix saga could jumpstart Fox's X-Men universe into that cosmic realm too. Because you know what? Cyclops' dad is a space pirate. The Starjammers are like the X-Men version of Guardians of the Galaxy. And boom, there you go. You got them right there. You got Guardians of the Galaxy, 4 X-Men, Fox, it's waiting for you. You got to use it.
Who are playing Jean and Scott in Apocalypse?
You have Sophia, what's her name? Blah, 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 the girl from Game of Thrones.
I don't know. I don't watch that show.
She's the redhead one.
I don't watch that show.
What? Come on. Okay. I know I have their names here somewhere.
Whatever. Just show me pictures later.
Okay, I'll show you pictures. One is Tyler Sheridan, is who's playing.
That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's been in he's got a bunch of small roles. He's in this new movie that I got reserved at the library, A Scout's Guide to the Apocalypse.
Oh, I heard that a guy talk about that.
Yeah, he's a Boy Scout. He plays a Boy Scout, and of course, a zombie apocalypse happens. So him and his other fellow Boy Scouts have to survive it. It looks, one of those stupid, funny films. So I'm looking forward to see it. If nothing else, just to get a more of an idea of his acting chops. He was also in Mud with Matthew McConaughey, which I saw parts of, and it was pretty good. Sophia Turner, that's her name. Sophia Turner, yes. She's in, she plays, I hate thinking of names here.
I can't help you with this one because
Sansa Stark. She plays Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones. I think she's going to be great, honestly. Good actress, so definitely with that.
I'm excited for Apocalypse.
Definitely. So would you want to see another Phoenix Saga? How they redo it?
I mean, I haven't watched the animated series in its entirety. I just catch
I try to get you to,
when I hear the catchy theme song. Yes, I'm very familiar with the theme song. I mean, I think it sounds like an interesting story, and I have actually, didn't you make me read that I think I read that comic.
I think you did, yeah.
Yeah.
I should have.
So, I mean,
if you read any X-Men, you would have read that.
Yeah, no, I read that. I didn't read just that one. I read the one with Magneto and you had me read something with Magneto and his kids.
He's in a lot of those, yes. House of M?
I think I read that one.
That's the one Josh is reading right now.
Yeah, you had me read that one too.
Yeah, Josh is loving that too.
But anyway.
You're less excited about it.
It was okay.
See what I deal with?
It's alright, whatever. Hey, I'm reading Star Wars comics now. Shouldn't that make you happy?
It does make me a little happy.
Just a little.
You should need to read X-Men.
Anyway, I don't even remember what I was talking about.
We talked
Phoenix Saga.
So would you like to see it come to fruition like it did in the animated series?
Yeah, I mean, sure. I think it would be, if they do it in a way that's not going to make you complain a lot, then that sounds fine.
And that's what it is. Welcome to my world.
I didn't hate X3 because I don't know. At that time, I didn't even know. That
wasn't even an X-Men movie.
I'm just saying, I definitely thought that there were things that were done not awesome. Angel was misused completely. A character was totally wasted space in that film. Like, why did they even have him in there? It was a total waste. And there were some other things that I thought were kind of silly. But, I mean, overall, I didn't know the story at that point, what it was supposed to be. And so I was like, this is kind of entertaining. It's interesting. I thought Phoenix looked freaking cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that they did the aspect of how she unlocked a bigger piece of her powers, but that Xavier had psychologically shut off.
Yeah, but her killing Scott didn't make any sense.
And that's well, we're not going to get into that because I'll go on for another hour about that at least. Mm-hmm. So if they did that again, I could see that. They just have to do it in a better sense. But again, like I said, now that they're setting up this X-Men cinematic universe, starting with Deadpool and then X-Men Apocalypse and then Gambit, they're going to need to expand more. And let's go cosmic with it. Let's start off with the Phoenix Saga. Let's venture off that way. Mm-hmm. Then you can branch off into a Starjammers movie and do a whole Shi'ar Empire movie if you want to do that route. So there's a lot to explore there. I think it's a good gateway to expanding this universe as well.
Mm-hmm. I have a side thought that's just going to relate this back to the beginning sandwich bread of the DC universe. So, how you're talking about your sandwich. Whatever.
You're making me hungry.
Anyway, so I'm just thinking of the X-Men movies, particularly if you look at Days of Future Past.
Yes.
That's a dark film.
Somewhat, yes.
I mean, all the parts that takes place in the future, dark, but that movie didn't have that dark, like kids can't. I mean, it was scary. I mean, there were parts I think where they were showing all the death and destruction and
multiple characters dying multiple times.
And just like the bodies laying. Yeah. I mean, I can see
it was pretty horrific. Yeah,
it was. There was some very heavy parts of it, but it didn't have that. Like, I didn't come out of it thinking I wouldn't take my kid to see this.
Yeah.
Where the DC movies give me that. It's just something about because I feel like I keep talking about how the DC universe is so dark. And I'm just thinking to myself now that I'm thinking about Days of Future Past, that movie was dark and it had some drama.
I wouldn't call it dark. I call it serious, but not dark.
But all the parts that took place in the future were dark. It was very dark. But it wasn't off-putting like the DC stuff seems to be. So I'm not sure what it is about the DC stuff that is... Because it's not just the darkness of it.
It's just bad?
I don't know.
Man of Steel is just bad? That's what it is?
I don't know.
It's not done right.
We could talk about Man of Steel another time. But.
Whatever. We will, I'm sure. But anyway, all right, guys. So that's it. We run out of time. It's time to go Betty bye. Time to sleep in.
Sleep in? Are you crazy? Or daughter's sick. We're not sleeping in.
Exactly. We got a little sick girl here. We got to take care of as well. But oh well. All right, guys. So that is it for today. If you have any thoughts, anything you want to talk to us about, hit us up, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. I can't talk. It's late. What can I do? Or you can hit us up on our Facebook group, or of course on Twitter, or the Twitter, as some people call it. You can tweet us as well. Let us know how we're doing. If you want to, bring something up, I'm more than happy to listen to what you have to say. And like most people, I'll probably ignore it afterwards. So, all right, guys. So, this is Dayspring Discussions signing off, saying goodbye.